What's up, everybody? So in this lecture, we're talking about lesson or unit 3, food and nutrition, and we're doing lessons 1 and 2. We'll do lesson 1. All right, so this is lesson 1. If you're in class, please open to page 62 and 60. All right. We are going to listen to this story. And then we're going to try to read it together. All right? So let's take a listen. Before we do that, who is this guy? The cook, okay. What's he doing? Cooking. Does he look happy? Yeah, he kind of looks happy. Not really? He looks like he's smelling the food. I don't know. There's like fog coming up. Do you see it? All right. So this is our cook. That's his job. He's a chef. Why do we know he's a chef? Because of what he's wearing, right? What's in his clothes tells you that he's a chef.
Kitchen.
Hat, right? The kitchen is behind him, so it's in the background. It tells us he's a chef. But the chef's hat, the chef's vestments, right? The clothing that he's wearing, this all tells us that he is a chef. And he seems to be in a very big kitchen, right? So let's find out who this person is. Let me make sure, hold on a second, let's make sure that we're sharing with the audience.
My name is Gabrielle. I'm a cook in my father's restaurant. His name is Augustine. My mother's sister and brother work here too. We have American food in our restaurant. I want to have some food from other countries too. Maybe someday we can have an international restaurant.
One more time.
My name is Gabrielle. I'm a cook in my father's restaurant. His name is Augustine. My mother's sister and brother work here too. We have American food in our restaurant. I want to have some food from other countries too. Maybe someday we can have an international restaurant.
Let's try reading it together. Yeah? My name is Gabrielle.
My name is Gabrielle.
I cook in my father's restaurant. His name is Augustine. My mother, sister, and brother work here too. We have American food in our restaurant. I want to have some food from other countries too. We can have an international restaurant.
Maybe someday we can have an international restaurant.
Awesome, you guys. Okay. So take a few minutes and circle the correct answers. Or all right, so let's take a look at them together. Gabriel works in a restaurant. Is that true or false?
True.
Gabriel only cooks American food in his father's restaurant. It's actually true. It is true because they only make American foods, but they want to make international foods, right? He wants to do that, but right now they only make American food. His sister doesn't work at the restaurant. Well, We want the restaurant to have food from different countries. Let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look at the menu. Okay. This is a receipt, right? You see the receipt that's next to it? On one side, you guys, questions? Do you have any questions? Yeah, no, maybe, no questions? You can ask me too. I love that you're helping each other, by the way. All right, so guest check is basically either the receipt or the check that you order at a restaurant. So if you're at a restaurant and you want to pay, what do you say? Can I have the check, please? Or can I have the bill? Most likely, most often we say, can I have the check? Okay. So you can say, can I have the bill? Can I have the check? So when you do go to a restaurant, one second, sorry. When you do go to a restaurant, you will have something like this. Yes? Okay. So on one side, it will tell you how many of the items you ordered. On the other side, it will say the name of what you ordered. Then it will have the price. Yeah, you've seen them before. So this is amount. This is the name of the dish, and this is the price. And then you have the total is all of them together. Yes? So the total is everything together. Let's take a listen and do. Let's listen to this one, to the people ordering food, and write down the order, and then we're going to put the cost, okay?
1.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you ready to order?
Yes, thanks. I'm very hungry.
We'll take care of that. What would you like?
I'd like the super burger.
Great, the super burger combo, right?
Yes. Can I have a dinner salad too?
Sure. Your food will be coming right up.
Thanks.
All right, let's play it again.
1.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you ready to order?
Yes, thanks. I'm very hungry.
We'll take care of that. What would you like?
I'd like the super burger.
Great, the super burger combo, right?
Yes. Can I have a dinner salad too?
Sure. Your food will be coming right up.
Thanks.
All right, so what do we have from the menu? We have the super burger. So we have the super burger, it's $5.99. We know that because of the menu, right? And then we have the dinner salad, and it's $1.85. Yeah, and then usually we'll put the total here, which we are not going to. We're not going to. Let's move on to page 64 and 65. Okay, so now we want to form, we're gonna take a closer look at, where is this? Or not, it doesn't love me. Okay. We're going to take a closer look at forming questions with can. Okay. Whenever we want to form a question with can, we put can in front of the pronoun or the noun. Okay. Then we keep the base verb as it is and we form the question. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay. So let's say I can say the sentence is, I go to the movies. This is a statement. Is this a question? No. No. How can I turn it into a question with can?
Are you go to movies?
Can I go?
Can you go to the movies? Yeah. So our rule is to form a question with can, to form a question with can. Form a question with can. Ooh, lost it. 1 second. To form a question with can, we need can plus pronoun plus verb in base form, which means it's not conjugated, form plus the rest of the sentence. So our example is, can go to the, yeah, you see it? Can someone give me another example? Can someone, and that's an example, give me another example? Can you try my food? Give me an example, you guys.
Can you hang me?
Can you? So I'm gonna write the example again. Another one.
Can you play with me?
Can you play with me? What else?
Can you look to me?
Can you look at me?
Yeah.
Give me another example.
Ryan.
Can I buy a new car? Can she go with us on the trip? Okay, so if I want to turn this into a sentence, what can I say? You can play with me. Yeah. You can look at me. You can buy a new car. You can go on a trip with us.
Isn't that first down?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No, hold on. Come on. Go back. So what's our formula? Can, pronoun, or noun, right? It could be noun. In base form, plus the rest of the sentence. So can I say, is this? Can I say can play with me? Is that correct?
No,
No, why not?
the verb. The verb.
You experience.
The verb, the playing.
Play, is that in base form? No, because it's conjugated. It has ing, so I can't say that, that's not wrong. Or can I say? Can she goes with us on the trip? Is that correct?
No.
No, why not?
Verb, the verb.
The verb go is incorrect, okay, because it's conjugated with third person singular. So base form means that the verb is not conjugated, yeah? Does that make sense? So it looks the same. Play, eat, travel. Okay? All that stuff. Walk. Talk. Ride. These are not conjugated. These are base form. Yes? Does that make sense? Sure? Questions? All right. Let's go back to our. Okay. Oh, so one more thing before we move on. Okay. All right. Oops, sorry, guys. So the last thing I want to tell you is that we can use names, right? Can John go with me to the movies? Yeah. So I didn't use he, I used John, right? Can Sandra play the piano? You see it? So it can be a noun or a pronoun. Can Steve drive? Yeah? So you don't have to put a pronoun, you can put a noun. Or I can say, can he drive, right? If I know we're talking about Steve. Cool? People look like they have questions. Do people have questions? No questions? Okay. I believe you.
The verb añade a de es. Place. Place. No.
No, because it has to be in base form. It has to be not conjugated. It's only in whenever we ask a question with can, the verb has to be in base form, so it cannot be conjugated. We cannot say she, remember this one? Okay. She goes with us on a trip. That's not correct. It has to be she, can she goes with us, sorry. Can she goes with us on a trip is not correct. You can she go with us on the trip is correct because it's not conjugated. So goes is third person singular. So it has to be like this. So remember, for example, simple present, right? We have to put I drive, right? You drive. If the verb is, let's, oh, dang it, I can't. So simple present. The verb to drive, or the verb drive. What's the verb? Drive. That's the base form. Nothing happened to it. No one talked about driving, nothing happened to it. Yes? Okay, so if I want to conjugate it, it would be I drive, you drive, he drives, she drives, it drives, and then I'm gonna go with we drive, and they drive. Yes? This is conjugated. The verb by itself is not conjugated. Okay, so the verb drive, that's how it looks like originally. That's how it looks like. Nothing happens to it. Yes? To drive, to eat, to play, to drink, all these verbs are not conjugated. Nothing is happening to these verbs. Yes? Okay, so that means that whenever I want to create a sentence with can or form a question with can, the verb has to be like that. It cannot be conjugated. It has to be in its original form. And the original form in this case, can Steve drive, is like that because the original verb of drive is spelled that way. Nothing happens to it. Yeah? Because the verb that is conjugated is can. Cool? Can means able to.
Una pregunta, cuando hago preguntas con can, entonces al verbo no le agrego la letra S cuando está en tercera persona.
No,
No lleva.
no, because it's
Ah,
not
okay.
conjugated. It's like in Spanish, it would be like trabajar ends with AR, right? That's the base form. Trabajo is conjugated. Yeah, but if we want to use the verb by itself, we keep it with AR. Yeah? Yes? Okay, it's the same here. So the verb we're conjugating is can, not drive. Yeah, so it cannot have an S. Nothing happens. Okay. All right, and it's the same rule, I think, in Spanish. Puedo trabajar. Right? O puedes trabajar. Because poder is the one that's conjugated. Can is the one that's conjugated. Trabajar stays the same, right? Yes? It's the same rule.
Oh, ya, aquí can viene a ocupar el lugar del verbo.
Yes.
Entonces, puede decir manejar.
Exactly. So
Okay.
can is the verb that's being conjugated, not tried.
Okay,
Cool?
gracias.
Cool?
Yeah.
How we feeling? Yes? Okay. Other questions, my people, before we move on? So let's read or practice reading the paragraph together. Okay? Augustine and Sylvia make a shopping list for the restaurant every Thursday morning. On Thursdays, they are not busy. They already have a lot of food this week. They don't need to buy very much. Let's practice saying or pronouncing these words. Cool? Hold on, no, for this one. Ground beef.
Ground beef.
Bacon. Lettuce. Fresh fruit. Tuna fish. Tomatoes. Sugar. Ham. Flour. So we're gonna list the things that Augustine and Sylvia need. If you hear the word, put a check mark next to it, like our example. You see our example? Okay, so you're going to hear ground beef, you put a check mark. If you hear carrots, you put a check mark. This is the check mark, right? Okay. Sorry.
On Thursdays, Augustine and Sylvia are not busy at the restaurant. They make a shopping list every Thursday morning. Today, they don't have to buy a lot of food at the store. Augustine says they need ground beef. Sylvia says they don't need turkey, and they don't need tuna fish or chicken. Augustine says they need ham and bacon. Sylvia says they don't need lettuce, carrots, or tomatoes, and they don't need fresh fruit, sugar, or flour. Augustine doesn't like to shop for food, but he wants to help Sylvia. Sylvia doesn't shop for food because she works many hours at the restaurant. Sylvia and Augustine try to help each other. Augustine doesn't like to shop, but he shops anyway to make his wife happy. They're not a rich couple, but they are a happy couple. On Thursdays, Augustine and Sylvia are not busy at the restaurant. They make a shopping list every Thursday morning. Today, they don't have to buy a lot of food at the store. Augustine says they need
I can't do it. I can't. There's nothing here for me to be able to do it. So try to listen. We'll play it again. We'll play it a few.
ground beef. Sylvia says they don't need turkey, and they don't need tuna fish or chicken. Augustine says they need ham and bacon. Sylvia says they don't need lettuce, carrots, or tomatoes, and they don't need fresh fruit, sugar, or flour. Augustine doesn't like to shop for food, but he wants to help Sylvia. Sylvia doesn't shop for food because she works many hours at the restaurant. Sylvia and Augustine try to help each other. Augustine doesn't like to shop, but he shops anyway to make his wife happy. They're not a rich couple, but they are a happy couple. On Thursdays, Augustine and Sylvia are not busy at the restaurant. They make a shopping list every Thursday morning. Today, they don't have to buy a lot of food at the store. Augustine says they need ground beef. Sylvia says they don't need turkey, and they don't need tuna fish or chicken. Augustine says they need ham and bacon. Sylvia says they don't need lettuce, carrots, or tomatoes, and they don't need fresh fruit, sugar, or flour. Augustine doesn't like to shop for food, but he wants to help Sylvia. Sylvia doesn't shop for food because she works many hours at the restaurant. Sylvia and Augustine try to help each other. Augustine doesn't like to shop, but he shops anyway to make his wife happy. They're not a rich couple, but they are a happy couple.
I know it was hard for a lot of you, but let's take a look. So what they need, a lot of times they were saying they don't need, right? They don't need. What they do need is ground beef, bacon, and ham. That's it. That's all they need. Ground beef and ham. That's all.
Don't need, really?
What is it?
No.
Don't need?
No.
They need,
Ground beef.
they need ground beef, bacon and ham. That's what they do need. Alright. So now, we're gonna take a quick look at this over here. Okay. So our rule says that if we're making a question, if we're forming a question, we can use any. If we are making a statement, we can use some. Okay? So for example, do you need any milk? And then if it's not a question, it's a statement, we say we need some milk. So we don't say we need any milk. We say we need some milk. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We'll take a closer look. Alright. Get away. Alright, so if we are asking a question, we use any. If we are making a statement, we use some. Okay? If we're asking a question, we use any. If we're making a statement, we use some. Example, do you want any food? That's the question. What is the statement? What do you guys think the statement is?
Do you want food?
Answer or say the statement, not ask the question. So I would say,
Yes.
I want some food. Okay,
It's the same, some and any and some.
not when asking a question.
Sí.
Okay.
La segunda también llevaría el signo de interrogación.
Oh, no, sorry.
Pero la segunda me.
Oh,
Está pidiendo que.
We can also say, do you want some food? Okay.
Or do you want something?
But we cannot, yeah, or something. But we cannot say, I want any food. Okay? So food, some can be used. Some can be used for a question and a statement. But any cannot. Okay. So I can't say. I can't say I want anything. That's not correct. Okay. Do you want some water? Do you want any water? But I cannot say, yes, I want any water. That is not correct. Okay? Yeah? What's the correct answer?
You want anyone?
Yes,
I want some water. Okay? Can I say, do you want, oh, well, I already. Do you want some juice? Why not?
Because we can count.
No, I want to do one. No, I want. And someone is.
Can I use some?
I you want something.
Can I use some?
Yes, I would.
Yes, I can use some. Why can I use some? Because I wrote it right there, you guys. Some can be used for a question and a statement. Any cannot. Any can only be used for a question. Okay? For the most part. That's what we want to know now. Okay? Give me a second, you guys. Oh, any other question? Yes.
When I have working on the third version of the film, only the first question for the customer is like, do you like, I'm sorry, do you like something to drink? Or is that?
It would be something, right? You're still using some.
If they have
Would you like to start with something to drink? Something is, you're still using some. Okay, or you can say anything to drink, okay? So this is true in positive sentences. So if it's a negative, so we don't use, generally speaking, any, we don't use it when it's an answer. Okay? When it's a positive answer, we don't use any. We use some. But to ask a question, we can use some and we can use any for positive sentences. Okay? For positive sentences. For negative sentences, you can use sometimes any. I don't want any. I don't want anything to drink. Okay? So for negative sentences, you can use any. For positive sentences. Okay? But some can be used as a question and as an answer. Yeah? So I can use some for both. Answer. This is question. This is question, right? Question. Okay. Statement. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, can I change it? Alright, so that was for. Any and some. Now we're going to talk about many and much. There's something called count nouns in English and something called non-count. So to explain this very quickly. Hold on. So there are some nouns in English that you can count, and some nouns in English that you cannot count. So there are some nouns in English that you can count, and some that you cannot count. Okay? The ones you can count are called count nouns. Okay? The ones you cannot count are called non-count nouns. Okay? Count, no count. Count, no count. Count nouns are the ones that you can add an S to. For example, one book. Can you count your books?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, right? Means one book, 100 books. You can turn it into plural, okay? 3 bottles. Right. Bottle. Bottles. Yeah? Can someone give me an example? Give me an example.
Glass.
Oh, glasses are always black. Yeah,
Computer.
well, you don't say glass. They're always glasses, it's always plural. Computer. Computer. Computers, you can count computers. What else?
Pencil. Pencil.
Pencil. Pencil.
Pencil.
Someone said something else, what did you say? Wait, what thing was? Table,
Okay.
table, what, I can't hear you.
Picture chair. Chair.
Chair, okay, sorry, you're very soft spoken. Alright, chair, chair. Chair.
What about the parachute?
Parachute?
Parachute.
Yeah, parachute, parachutes. Okay. Non-count nouns are things that you cannot count. For example, water, you don't say waters, right? So anything you can hold in your hands, like solid kind of, is usually a count noun, so you can add an S. Anything you can't hold, like it falls in your hand, right? You generally it's a non-count noun. Or any ideas, right? So for example, education. We can't say education because it's a concept. We can say classes, we can count degrees, but we can't count education. We can't count, we can count bottles, but we can't count water inside the bottle, right? We don't say waters, right? We say 12 bottles of water. We don't say 12 waters. Yeah? Okay, so some counts, some verbs you can count them. some words, some nouns you cannot count. Okay? Cool? Can I change it? Yeah? Oh, back to this. All right. With non-count noun, with count nouns, we can use the word many to ask a question. How many cell phones do you have? I have 3 cell phones. Yes? How many? With non-count nouns, we only use much. How much water do you need? How much milk do you want? Yeah? So with count nouns, we use many. With non-count nouns, we use much. Cool? Okay, so I'm gonna need you to take a few minutes and try to do exercise H. Okay? If you're but we'll let you take over this. All right, so if it has an S, it means you can count it, right? So if it has an S, then the answer is many. So how many bananas do you need? We know that because bananas ends with an S. How many bottles of oil do we need? Yeah, again, it ends with an S. How much oil do you need? No S. How much flour do you need? How many apples do we need? And number 6 is how many pounds of apples do we need? Cool? All right. So